Hey everybody. All right, so I wanted to check out Hardspace Shipbreaker again. It's been a little while since I played it on the channel, and I've been having some fun with it lately. They did add some new content since I last played. They reorganized some of the ships. They added some nice volumetric lighting. So I think it'd be worthwhile to go back through it and just check some of that out. I mean, I'm playing on a pretty much maxed out save. At some point, I may start a new one just to go back through it again and look at the changes they did to progression. But for now, figure we just heal ship, get some money. So in Hardspace Shipbreaker, you're a salvager. You're in incredible amounts of debt. You can see up here, I still have $578 million to work off. You're saddled with a $1 billion debt. That is the cost that the company incurred in getting you into space and setting you up for this job, and then you are expected to work that debt off through salvaging ships. The company is Lynx Incorporated. Everything is made by Lynx. They are the big company. They own like everything in the solar system in this game. So it's very much a dystopia, and you're very much an indentured servant. But yeah, let's see what we can do. So hopefully I have the resolution for this game is a little bit annoying to stream. So hopefully it's set up correctly and it'll look fine in game. If not, I'll have to tweak it a little bit. We'll see. You start a shift. Every shift is 15 minutes. You can spend as many shifts on a ship as you want. You just want to make sure it's profitable to do so because you do incur interest on your debt every shift or every day, basically. So we're going to go down. I'm not going to start with class 1 ships because this is the tutorial ship and it's not interesting. You can see the difficulty is narrative. And there's very little value to be had here. So I'm going to start with the class 1 or class 2 ship. Now I'm going to ignore these glitchy ships here because that is something they added in the Halloween update, and I'll do one of those later. For now, we'll just do a nice, easy, light cargo ship. Let's see. How about the Saucy Harrison? It's a star cruiser. It was a light cargo ship owned by Expedient Express. Then it was presumably removed from service and purchased or acquired in some way by Lynx. And it is now here to be salvaged. So let's go. I'm watching my stream to see if it's going to render and look correct. All right, looks okay, I think. So here we are. We're floating in a salvage bay on a space station. We have full freedom of movement. I can spin in every axis you could imagine. Down there, this big green thing, that is the salvage net, if you will. Anything that is still intact and usable goes down there. On the left and right, we have our processor. Anything that is recyclable, we'll say, goes in there. That's where you put like doors and panels of the ship, like the ship hull. And then back here we have the furnace. You put trash and bulk metals to be melted down, like bulk aluminum framing and things like that in there, or anything you accidentally break as you're salvaging the ship. I'm going to get started. I'll kind of explain what we're doing along the way, because we do have an oxygen meter down there that is currently going down, and we have a shift timer in the top right that is also going down. So, I want to get this going. I'm going to pull this antenna off first. They're worth a little bit of money. This is a completely usable antenna, so it goes in the net. There we go. We have completed one of our work order items, which was to salvage antenna. Our work order on the right is pretty small, because this is an easy ship. This is a very early ship that you would get. Now we're going to go over here to the airlock and enter the ship and check out what's inside. Got to cycle the airlock. because you can see on the scanner, I'll show you the scanner real quick, all of those rooms that have little green dots next to them are pressurized. They have atmosphere in the ship, and if we were to cut into it, it would explosively decompress. Scanner has 3 modes. This is the structural mode. It shows you all of the structural members of the ship, and the yellow bits are cut points that you can cut apart. This is the system view. It shows you the systems of the ship. These red ones are engines. Well, red is fuel, blue is coolant, purpley stuff is radiation, which we have very little of on this ship, except the reactor there. And then the greens are electrical. And I apologize if I'm getting the colors wrong, because I'm colorblind. Then this is the object view. It shows you the objects of the ship that are not particularly aligned to a specific system, but are salvageable or otherwise interactable. So I'm going to head on in. We'll cycle the airlock, turn on my helmet camera, or helmet lamp, and we'll go on in. Ooh, look at that lighting. That's new. It looks really nice. All right, so the inside of the ship, it looks like these guys were hauling computer terminals. And what else? That's about it. They were just hauling computer terminals. All right, cool. Okay, there's some oxygen on the wall there we could grab. Nice. There is the reactor of the ship. This is a very small ship. Very small, light cargo ship. This is the mackerel class. No, the gecko. This is the gecko class. I think I'm getting that right. I don't remember which one's the bigger one now. They're all named after after a lizard. So we can look in the crawl space over here. See, there's a bunch of cut points, structural members over there. All through here. That's a fuel tank. We'll deal with that in a minute. And over here is another access chute to the crawl space. And more cutty bits. Sometimes they stash things in here. Sometimes you can find interesting things floating around. For now, though, I'm going to cycle the airlock back to vacuum. And I'm going to evacuate the air from the ship, because I don't want air in here. It's a hindrance. It is giving me oxygen. My suit can process it and store it, but I don't want it. So let's get the air out of here. We use the atmosphere processor to vent the ship. Does that work? That might have only vented this room. Let's yeah, that only vented this room. See, it's faulty. Sometimes things don't work correctly on the ship, but that has now sucked all the air out. So like this. Those data drives are like part of the story progression. You can collect data drives and decrypt them for lore, messages, things like that. It just tells you a bit about the world. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is pull the bottom of the ship off in the rear compartment so we can get the reactor out of here. Got to kind of do this in the right order, especially on the bigger ships. It matters quite a lot, because if you do things out of order, the reactor gets very upset and explodes. In this one, it's not too bad. You have a little time when you pull it out before it explodes, and what I usually do is just tether it straight down to the salvage area. Once it gets down there, it's stable. I'll just step back, and it'll probably arc a little bit, but it'll be happy. There we go. Boom. We have salvaged the reactor. Easy peasy. This is an easy ship. The music got a little tense because that was dangerous. These automatically closed because we changed the pressurization in the ship. Not sure why this one closed. It should not have. But we'll just cycle it so it's correct. As I said, some of these ships can be faulty when Lynx gets them, so they don't all work correctly every time. And it's sometimes hard to tell if the ship's working incorrectly on purpose, or if the game is just buggy. Because this is an early access game. So we're going to remove the rest of the flooring. Just push that on out of here. So this is our grapple beam. It's a Van der Waal field generator. And basically lets you move things that are much, much heavier than you should be able to move. Because this thing, there's a mass readout at the bottom. This is 687 kilograms, this chunk of floor. There's no way I would be able to move that on my own. with muscle power. But we can just yeet it right into the processor because we have this magical van der Waals generator. Get in there. Now, I am just throwing the computers in there because I don't care. It's not part of the work order. This is an easy work order, and I generally only worry about the work orders. The later ships, I might try to salvage everything as a personal challenge, but you don't really need to. So the only other things we need are some nanocarbon, which is the outer hull of the ship, and a power cell. So let's get some more nanocarbon by peeling off the upper hull. Now, you can spend as many ships as you want doing this. So you can salvage absolutely everything if you want to. I tend not to do so unless it's convenient, like it's just not hard to do, and I would have gotten along the way anyway. Like, I could take this cargo hatch off and put it down in the barge, but I don't care. I just want the nanocarbon outer hull. Now, the exception there is some things are worth quite a bit of money, so I will do them. The cargo hatch is not one of those things, so I don't care. These engine nacelles are, however, worth a good bit of money. So I'm going to cut their mount point and just tether them down so that they get pulled down and we salvage. Oh, the game sound. Sorry. There you go. Good call. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I don't know how that got muted. Is that working now? It's hard for me to tell because for some reason OBS, when this game is running, it doesn't update correctly, but that makes me, unable to see the volume levels and things. So if something is too loud, too quiet, or whatever, please let me know. And thank you for letting me know the game sound was muted. That's kind of annoying. I was playing with OBS earlier to do something, but I don't think I messed with the audio sources. Anyway, I'm going to cut the back of the ship off because we do still need some more nanocarbon. And another one of those valuable things is the engine inside. So those side nacelles were not necessarily the main engine of the craft. It's not entirely clear, but the main engine thing, thruster, I guess, right here. We can pull this thing right out. Salvage the shit out of that. Think. All right. Now this whole back end is a bit too heavy for me to move this way. You can see it's 3.5 tons, so we'll have to use our little tether to move it around. Yeah, it's very much just chill Western kind of. I don't know. It reminds me a little bit of Firefly, to be honest. The setting. Corporate overlords. There's no smugglers, but I don't know. Just the feel of the game kind of reminds me of Firefly. Yeah, for all I know, there is smuggling. I don't know. They're gonna expand the gameplay more later to include other locations that you can go to. They've got a lot in their eventual roadmap. Just cutting the sides off now. The nanocarbon is worth a lot, so I'm gonna go ahead and salvage all of it. And then I'll grab the power cell. This is convenient because the power cell is usually in these crawl spaces anyway, so by salvaging these, I'll get to it. Get out of here. Now I'm going to disassemble the airlock.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Did I say Firefox? I meant Firefly, yes. If I said Firefox, that was incorrect.
Credits transferred.
So that is the power cell, and it usually arcs pretty aggressively. You can see that can cause some damage. There we go. We have completed this work order. Anything else we get is extra. I spent a bunch of time talking at the beginning. I would normally be done by now. But I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to chuck the rest of this in the furnace. I don't really care. There's no penalty for doing so. Ever wanted to burn a whole ship? Well, most of a ship? Small enough? Moving? It is slowly moving. Could speed it up by cutting it up some more.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Come on, get in there. Also speed it up by using multiple tethers.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
This whole thing is another 13 tons, so it moves very slowly. And the tethers are additive. So I think there's diminishing return on using a bunch of them. Now, I expect the game to freak out a little bit when I do this. So if there's some stuttering, that's why. Why is it rolling over? Wanted to go straight in, but it got caught on the side there.
You got about a minute left.
60 seconds. Come on. Use the rest of the feathers. There we go. He's in. Yeah, the rest of that can burn.
Accepted.
Now, I think when the full game is out, you're going to get penalties for doing things like this. But right now, there isn't a penalty. Oh, yeah, it's chugging bad now. Oh, it's not happy. Goodbye. Alright. We'll go back inside now. And we'll go with a Class 3 ship. And we can see what we earned. We earned about 2.1 million. You can see a breakdown of everything, including everything you destroyed. So, you know, if I had salvaged all this stuff, I would have gotten money for it. But I wasn't too worried about it because, I don't know, in this build right now, money's kind of meaningless. You don't actually purchase much with money, and when you do buy something, it just adds to your debt. You don't actually need to have positive cash. In fact, you can't. Unless you actually work all of your debt off, at which point you've spent, you know, several hundred hours in this anyway. But you can buy equipment upgrades. So all these are equipment upgrades that you buy with loyalty points. And you gain loyalty points by completing work orders. So they are much more important. Yeah. You can also put stickers on your tools. That's why there's a stickers thing. This is the data recovery. All of these are bits of lore that I recovered from hard drives or helmets of crew that were mysteriously vanished. Alright, start a new one. We'll go with grade 3. So there's a heavy cargo, a station hopper, another station hopper, and a glitchy station hopper. Let's go with a heavy cargo. Yeah, mackerel, that's right. Couldn't remember if mackerel was the small one or the big one. The gecko's the larger one. That got me 3 million, yes. I'm almost 600 million in debt. You start off with $1 billion in debt. Alright, so a slightly more complicated ship. It's got some cladding on the outside for impact resistance. So like hardened titanium paneling. We'll cut all that off and get rid of it. I missed. Yeah, the numbers for the values of salvage and everything are not final because this is still early access. And they have said that this portion of the game that's shown right now is only the first chapter of 3, I think, that are planned. Like, once you pay off your debt here, you're supposed to be able to go elsewhere and do more stuff. That is not indentured servitude-ness. So you are intended to be able to pay off your debt, and that's not the end of the game. That's like chapter 1.
Processing valuable objects.
What attachment point did I miss over here? Ah, there's one right back there. Inside the cladding. I'll have to go around the other side. There it is. Get out of the way. Oh, there's one up there too. There we go. This is half a ton of titanium. That's pretty impressive. That can go get processed.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
And these are counting towards my salvaged metal work order. Convenient. I don't bother. You can remove the individual panels, but I just throw the whole thing in there. It all counts, so pointless. No cut point at the bottom. Okay. Take this whole thing and throw it in there. I have to get the points inside this cladding as well. I don't have to take these off. You can just take the sides of the ship off and leave these attached, but they tend to get in the way later on sometimes. So especially for these guys, I usually remove them. Get in there. All right. Did I take this back one off? I did. I did. All right, outside is clear now. See, with the higher level ship, the nacelles are actually structurally bound to the body of the ship. You can't just cut them off. So I'll have to go inside to take care of those.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
Yeah, a big portion of the 3 million I got from that last one was the reactor and engine. They're worth a lot.
Airlock pressure levels increasing.
Oh, alright. Heavy cargo ship. Looks like they had some forklifts. Get rid of that for a minute. They had some cargo crates over there. Storage bin. Big thing of fuel. Excellent. Good stuff. Alright, this one actually has a reactor shutdown terminal, so I'll use that. This will safely vent, well, safely in quotation marks. It still could mess up, but it vents the fuel out of these lines going to the engine. Makes it a little safer to use. So I do that, and then I use these override switches. Alright, that line is vented. And now this one. Perfect. So these should no longer be attached. Yep, okay. Just go vent all the atmosphere before we start cutting, huh? We wouldn't want to explode. Maybe towards the end of the stream, I'll show you what happens if you cut through things without venting atmosphere. If I haven't done it by accident by then. Oh, I had a work order to salvage a data drive, which I have done. Cut the back of the ship off real quick. Give us a little room to work. You may have noticed in this one, the reactor wasn't just conveniently on the ceiling. Where is it? Right up there, next to the cockpit. That's annoying. Makes it a little more difficult to get out, but it's okay. Alright. Pull the ass of the ship off after I take the engine out.
Valuable object processed. Credit
Use these
deposited.
jack. These jack-looking things are actually called jacks, and they are used to pull things around the salvage bay. That is their primary function. Tether something to them, you can move it around. Delicately cut these cut points out of the way. They're right next to fuel canisters, so I don't want to explode things. Remove the sides of the ship. Oop. I cut right through that cabinet. Oh well. That's not gonna go yet, is it? No. Okay. Gotta be a little careful with the cutter there. This right here is a cut guard. So I don't know if it comes across on the stream. This one is a armored cut point, and this happens sometimes. Like a ship will get retrofitted and they'll armor some of the cut guards that failed or something like that. The way around it is just to bash it with something. I usually use a nearby light, and it breaks off the very brittle armor. Because the armor there is for it's for temperature resistance, like changes in temperature, not so much physical resistance to bashing. So smacking it with something usually cuts it or breaks it. Oh, that one's got a cut guard too. Take this light, just slam it into it. Now, it can be dangerous doing that because the light can ricochet and break something else. But whatever. And let's just do that right next to the reactor. What could go wrong? Alright, the side of this should come off now. And it should come off mostly in one piece. Let me get the nacelle off of this side, though. That will cause a problem. I will have to detach this fuel line. There we go. Now this can just go get salvaged. There's the whole engine. Well, nacelle. I don't really understand the difference between thrusters and nacelles in this, but I guess it doesn't really matter because the ships are not functional. Keep going. Oh, I see.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Bad placement on my part. Yep. So the whole side of the ship came off. Let's just save these. The grappler also acts as a multi-tool, so if something is attached to something else, it can sometimes remove the attachment. Convenient. Get in there. Come on.
Cutter, you got 5 minutes left in
5 minutes.
Knock out that work order before they turn the lights out on
We can
you.
go ahead and salvage the fuel. I know that was on the work order list. Do we need storage? Yeah, we do. We need 7. So these cargo containers are going. They're not usually worth a whole lot by themselves, but if they're part of the work order, I grab them. This, it looks like they're still... they're gonna take this storage bin, even though I royally jacked it up. I'm not sure why it was floating like that.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
They were still okay with that, so... Oh, look, a multi-tool. They call this a multi-tool. It's a wrench. That's just a wrench. Alright, well, we can salvage that. There is a forklift, which is heavy. Wow. Okay. Oh, hit me in the face. Nope. You've got some momentum, buddy. Alright, there's a tank of coolant. I didn't actually see if that was on the list, but I'll go ahead and grab it. Yeah, it is. 28 kilograms of coolant. There we go.
Secured. Account credit
Some more
applied.
fuel. This will probably do us for fuel. Take this computer. We do need 3 computer terminals. There's another multi-tool.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits
They're worth
transferred.
almost nothing, but whatever. Alright, let's go ahead and salvage this side of the nose. Then I can pull the power cell off. There's apparently 3 power cells on this one. So I was very lucky there. That could have arced and destroyed the reactor, but it worked out okay.
Deposited.
Go ahead and do the reactor. Boom. The Mackerel's reactors are pretty easy to salvage. I think the next ship I'll do is a Gecko, and you'll see the difference. It's actually got a cooling system you have to shut down and everything. Okay, the interior is pretty barren now. Go ahead and cut off the other side. Oh, there's another cut guard.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I'm getting some slowdown because I'm streaming. I'm really hoping my new computer, when it arrives, will be a little better at this whole streaming thing. This game is kind of demanding resource-wise. Go ahead and disassemble the airlock as well. Delicately. And then I'll finish cutting the rest of the cut points for the side so that we can pull the entire side off and send it right in for processing. Ooh. You gotta be careful. There's sometimes barrels of coolant up there. So I don't want to have a stray laser cut just break something open.
We're getting down to the wire. Let's put a bow
Yeah,
on it.
60 seconds left. I'll do another shift on this to finish it out. Alright, I need to cut this fuel line. We've already got all the fuel we need, but may as well salvage it right there.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Get out of here. Alright, I can send these cargo containers down. And our shift is ending.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Let's see how we did in that shift. 1.9 million, not bad. We only destroyed a couple of things. A storage bin. So 2 of the storage bins were non-viable. They won't salvage. We destroyed a couple lights, some fuel pipe, and a flush switch. No big deal. Let me check my cutter. So as you use these things, they get damaged and they work worse and worse. So I'm just repairing this. I've got a bunch of repair kit. Kind of wish you could repair in the field, as it were, but whatever. So let's finish it up. These usually only take me one
Valuable object processed.
shift.
Credits awarded.
But I've been going a little slower to explain things. Alright, we do need one more storage. We do need these power cells right here. Hopefully the one doesn't arc and destroy the other one.
Salvage secured.
And those arc can hurt you as well. Go ahead and throw this in. Just for money. Alright, let's cut the nose off.
Credits transferred.
We can deal with the back end of the ship. We've gutted it pretty much. The front end will have our other computers that we need and one storage. So this entire back end, I mean, I don't really care what we do with it. I can throw it in the furnace. I can salvage it. I may as well salvage the top and bottom. Not especially difficult to do.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
This one's a little bit more interesting because I can cut the hatch off, which I did not do last time because I believe it's not actually worth the time to do it. But let's see what the value is. We'll see it at the end of the shift if I remember to look. Now the whole thing is kind of moving because of the inertia it picked up when I was ripping those other panels off.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
That was an atmosphere processor. I just wanted to grab it. No real reason.
Secured. Account credit applied.
It's worth a little bit of money.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Set the whole thing to spinning again. Oh. I did something wrong. There we go. Off you go. Alright, that's the whole outer hull basically, except for what's attached to the nose. I'm just gonna have the skeleton of the ship basically go into the furnace. It's 3 tons of aluminum.
Credits awarded.
Aluminum's not worth much. But then, I mean, I may as well throw it in there. What have I got to lose, right? Oh, let me grab those. These are door controls. They're worth a little bit. Alright, let's finish out our order. We need to move the seat. The seats are actually worth a surprising amount. They're like 12 grand each,
Raw material processed.
if I recall. Which, of course, set against, you know, $1 billion of debt is not much, but it's something. Something.
Salvage deposit accepted.
Alright, one of our 2 computers we need right here.
Salvage
Grab this one.
credits deposited.
And this storage bin right here will be our storage item. And then I'll just demonstrate something.
Salvage deposit accepted.
So this innocuous little white box here is the devil. The devil himself. Watch this. There is, as far as I know, no safe way to remove this from the ship. And it arcs and destroys things constantly until you throw it in the salvage yard. Oh, yep.
Electrical damage.
Case in point.
Salvage
And also when you get shocked, your music changes because you're listening to the wrong channel. Alright, the rest of that can go right in the processor. And next we'll do a class 4 ship and we'll grab a gecko. I think that was everything. There's a couple little bits floating around.
credits deposited.
That's a piece of crap. It's probably a light that I broke. Yeah, those are the lights that I use as battering rams. That is a multi-tool. What's that over there? That's another multi-tool. Man, there were a lot of multi-tools on that ship. I think that's it. This is just debris. Can't use it. You can't move it. It bumps against your helmet. You can, in fact, damage your helmet in this game. Might demonstrate that later, too. You can break your helmet, actually. And then you suffocate. And then you're fined for damage to Link's property. And then you're fined for the clone that they had to create. Alright, what were we looking for? I wanted to see how much the cargo hatch was worth. 63 grand. That's not bad. Probably not worth the time, just like the seats, but not bad. Not bad. Yeah, the entire structural aluminum of the ship, the whole thing, only 16 grand. So that entire frame of aluminum, 1.3 tons of aluminum, wasn't worth as much as one seat, basically. Aluminum's not really worth your time unless it's just an easy tether and forget. Alright, equipment's doing okay. Let's repair that, and then we'll grab a new ship of grade 4. So we're into the geckos now. We could grab a station hopper or a station hopper, apparently. That's all we got. So we got cargo ship. Or, sorry, passenger ship. Let's grab the one with the highest value, I guess. 13,800,000 value over here on the side. This shows like all the hazards you can expect, resource distribution. All this stuff is still under construction and still being finalized in the early access build, but it's pretty useful. You can see some things change as you go through. This one has a couple more electrical hazards than the other ship. And the first thing you'll notice is that this is a much larger ship. If it ever loads. Sometimes it crashes. Early access. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah. Look at this thing. Complicated interior. Many objects. Ribbed like a whale or something. I don't know. Got long keels on the top and the bottom that go out into these structural members. Very interesting ship. Very cool. Alright. This is a sensor tower. You can just rip it off and throw it in the bin. I don't know if I need it, but it's got to come off, and it doesn't go where the panels go, so I may as well throw it in the bin. I did need it. Excellent.
Secured. Credits deposited.
Now, are we pressurized? It is pressurized inside. We'll go ahead and cycle both airlocks.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
It's so bright out. There's the sun. Hello, sun.
Dropping.
Space school bus. Yeah, kinda.
Airlock pressure levels increasing.
I mean, look. Space school bus. So here's where all the passengers sit. They all have like little terminals they can watch ship announcements on, I suppose. They don't have any personal terminals, but they have terminals all along the top. So this looks like it is not pressurized in that room. See the cabin label with the red light next to it, I guess. That airlock over there is not. The comms room is not. So a couple of these areas are not pressurized right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and depressurize the ship though. Cycle the airlocks back out. Working in an atmosphere is kind of annoying. Things burn more easily. You cut the wrong thing, everything explodes. It's awful. Oh, look, free oxygen. That is a power cell capacitor. Interesting. Alright. That is not pressurized, so we're fine here. I don't know why the doors are closed. The cockpit is pressurized though, so I'm gonna hang on to the wall and just let the air bleed out.
Air pressure level decreasing.
There we go. Just checking the cockpit out. Looking nice. Got a very narrow view when you're piloting this ship, eh? Let go. Stuck on the seat. I'm stuck. There we go. Just unbolt it with my magic tool. Alright, let's head back and check out the situation. So over here we have the ECU, which is the cooling system for the reactor. Inside that ECU, we can just pull the door open there. There are 3 coolant bottles, and if we pull those out, the reactor will begin melting down. So we're not going to do that right now. That is pressurized. All right, let me hold on to the wall and depressurize this. You know, in a working functional ship, all of these things should depressurize when you hit the button, but some of them don't, because these things are old and decrepit. And this is the shutdown console. Excellent. Do I have a key? I do. We're going to go ahead and shut down the reactor cooling, or well, the fuel system, not the cooling system. So we're safing the reactor, basically. It doesn't mean it can't explode, though. That's just the first step in the shutdown procedure. And then into the crawl space. Look at this. A whole bunch of empty space inside the hull where we can access things. Go ahead and cut these nacelles off. The other thing the shutdown console does is it removes these engines from the fueling system so that you can then take them off and salvage them. If you cannot, like if you don't have a maintenance key to use that shutdown system, you have to use these fuel bypass levers, and they're very, very dangerous and they can cause explosions. They cause big jets of fire to come out and everything. It's really cool. I might do it at one time. But it's also horrible because there's fire. Alright, I'm going to start on the top of the ship and just sort of cut things off as we go forward. We are detaching, these are the keels, right? The ship's keel. This is the dorsal, then there's the ventral on the other side. We're detaching them from the ship interior as well as from the ship exterior so we can salvage them. Slowly just peeling apart all the structural points of this ship. You can see things like moving as stresses are released. Quite interesting. Some of these will be under tension, some won't be. And you may cut a cut point and nothing happens. Then you may cut the cut point on the other side and the entire side of the hull just springs out because it was under tension. You didn't know. It could hit you right in the face. It's very funny, but also, you know, it sucks to pay for your clone and be fined for damage and everything. All right, I think we got all of those disconnected. Go ahead and do this side. I'm gonna risk a long cut here. See, that was under tension and it just popped off. That whole keel just came apart. That's good. You can see these, I think these are supposed to be like hull patches or something, but this panel is aluminum rather than nanocarbon like the rest of the ship. Don't exactly know why. Maybe it's just done to approximate damage repair. Maybe it's just done to make it more interesting. Ooh, the entire top of the ship just came off. That'll work. Close-up welding. Well, cutting. Alright, let's start salvaging things. And this can go in as is. Nothing on that. Looks like most of these panels can just go straight into the processor. I gotta make sure, yeah, I don't need anything weird, just computer terminals. I need to salvage the thrusters, one power generator. That's not too bad.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Hey, don't move it while I'm cutting it. Rude. Alright, we'll go ahead and salvage the airlock. They're worth a little. But also, it's just right there, so I may as well do it.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
People calling me. Alright. That one is detached.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
I'm just throwing these in the processor as quick as I can because I only have 5.5 minutes left in the shift. Get the keel in there. Now the front's not detached yet. That's still all attached and welded up. We will detach that soon. Mostly I was pulling this side off so that I could show you this guy. This triangular thing is the power generator, and it is stage 2 of safely removing the reactor from a gecko. If you remove this safely, you'll have more time before an overload when the reactor is unplugged. But the way to remove that safely is somewhat complicated. Not terribly so. You have to find the 3 fuse panels and pull them safely. Well, you don't have to pull them safely, pull them at all. So you wait until all the lights are white and you hit the button. Well, the lever, I guess. Now the third one is usually to the rear somewhere. Is that it? Yeah, I think. No, that's the door. There it is, right there. That's, keel's in the way. Excuse me. Now you'll notice every one you remove, they start to go faster. It's a little bit more difficult, but it's not terribly so. Now I can safely unplug the generator because all the fuses are out. Doing so, however, has now rendered the entire ship without power, because this thing is what translates the reactor's output into power. So all the computer terminals inside will be dark now, all the lights will be in emergency mode, things like that.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
So it can make it more difficult to navigate inside. All the lights are out. I don't really care because I'm mostly open to the ship anyway. The larger sections back here are like 4 or 5 tons each, and they can be a pain to pull to the front so you can get them into the processor. Get in there.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Hey, let go of that. Wonder why that section's not going. I may have forgotten a cut point or something. Let's go find out. I will need to get some oxygen soon too. Ah, this heatsink is attached. There we go. It was a structural heatsink apparently. This is just another bit. Regulates temperature in the ship. I think the heat sinks are specifically for the crew areas.
Account credit applied.
However, I do want to cut off the heat spreader that it was attached to and send that into the processor because it's worth more than the aluminum. It is bonded directly to the aluminum, so you can't detach it with your magical tool thing. But you can just cut it right off of there.
Valuable object. Credits awarded.
And I'll send that directly into the processor. Easy peasy. You can technically do that for these fuses as well, but they're worth like a couple $100, so I don't do it.
Object not accepted. Please revisit
See,
your
it
training.
counts the aluminum panel on the back as destroyed, but it does accept the heat spreader. Take that keel. That keel is actually worth more than the aluminum panel I just destroyed, so I always take the keel. Titanium is worth a good bit.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Alright, let's get these out of the way. I want to start taking these side panels off too.
Your oxygen reserves are low.
Yeah,
Note
we need
that
oxygen.
excess carbon dioxide can cause damage to Link's equipment.
Excess carbon dioxide can cause damage to Link's equipment.
Time is winding down, Cutter.
We've only got a minute left anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end this early so we can start our next shift.
Salvage deposit accepted.
Let's see how we did. Made 2 million on the first shift. Mostly we just peeled the ship. You can see the power generator was worth 270,000. All of the titanium we processed, 2.5 tons, was 113,000. The nanocarbon is worth quite a bit. I mean, we processed 16 tons, but 721,000. Good bit. Good bit. That was just panels, and then we got another non-panel nanocarbon, I guess. Not bad. I wish it showed the value of what you destroyed, too, so you can see how much money you missed out on. Stuff's in pretty good repair. We'll probably have to fix it next shift. With me talking, this is probably going to take 3 shifts to finish. That's alright. Get the other 2 nacelles into the salvage area. You can technically salvage these ladders, but I don't, because they're worth fuck all.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Alright, finish cutting this apart. Now, I usually leave the lower section for the second shift because it's a little more delicate,
Salvage secured.
a little more
Account credit
dangerous.
applied.
This pipe right here that you can see lit up, that contains coolant coming from the ECU. This is the back of the ECU. And it runs under here and up into the reactor. And if I nick that pipe, not only does it spew really dangerous coolant everywhere and freeze things and cause issues, but the reactor will immediately start melting down. And we don't want that yet. We're not ready. No meltdown yet, please. So I'm not doing any large line cuts or anything. I'm being very careful to remove specific cut points. don't know if it's coming through, but I can actually hear the reactor above me. There's like a humming noise. Pretty subtle, so I don't know if Twitch is picking it up. Or if my voice in the game audio is just drowning it out. Alright, get these panels done.
Credits deposited.
Come on. Get over there. I try to be careful with these because if you accidentally knock them into the furnace, you get nothing.
Credits deposited.
And both the furnace and the processor have a, I don't know, it's almost like a gravitational pull. You see these yellow caution lines? Anything beyond those caution tape lines gets pulled in. And the pull gets stronger and stronger as you get closer. So if I tether this over here in the wrong place, and it gets a little too close to the furnace, it'll pull it right in. I just gotta be careful. All right, this is not disconnected yet, and I'm not sure why. Oh, I didn't go all the way up on this side, did I? Finish that. That's right, I had to get those other panels out of the way before I could continue forward. That's way too big for me to hit. Okay. Are you actually detached or are you fake detached? I think it might be fake. Sometimes when an object is stuck to a panel, it can keep it in place even though the structural cut points are cut. So let me go back inside and look at that. I think that's attached to the front of the cockpit by one of the computer consoles. I don't want it to be.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Time consuming, but needs to be done. I'm gonna grab some oxygen over here. Just oxygen bottles hanging out, you know, no big deal. Alright, right up here and through here, and it's usually like the middle one. I mean, I've done this a few times, so. Gonna detach all these consoles. There we go, see? That was it. It was the left side. The whole front section just immediately comes off. As if it were under pressure. Come on, get back here. Alright, well, there's some of my computers that I can salvage. Hanging out there. This isn't detached yet. Let's go fix that. Actually, hold on. Cancel that for a second. There's some wall terminals still attached to this. You gotta be careful with this. Sometimes the terminals will stay on even though the power's off. That means it has a backup power system and it can arc. Looks like we're okay. It's kind of random. Oh, that one did. That was because I knocked it on something. I might have broken it. Really mad at me.
Salvage deposit accepted.
Alright, now you can go. Enjoy your time in the processor. Grab this coolant. Just toss that in. I think we need a coolant. No, we don't. Well, whatever.
Salvage secured.
Yeah, I forgot. This is a pretty simple one. I just need a couple more computer terminals. Oh, I guess those didn't count because they weren't computer terminals. These are. Interesting. Those were wall terminals. Lame.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Okay, I need 20 computer terminals. Are these are computer terminals. Today I learned wall terminals are actually distinct from computer terminals
Salvage deposit accepted.
because
Credits transferred.
reason. Those are storage bins. Go ahead and pull the
Salvage
seat
secured.
out just because it's in the way. I don't care about the storage bins at all because they're not on the work order. They're not worth anything really. Actually, I'm gonna cut this cockpit section off just to get to those a little easier. I don't want to have to keep going through this long cockpit tunnel thing. I think this will save me time in the long run. That, yeah, that is separate. I can just chuck this in the furnace. If I can get it above the level of the ship. Come on. I'll just use one of the jacks. That can go have fun in the furnace. Since we're messing around, I'll show you what coolant does when you throw it at something. In this case, it just frosted up this panel, but it can actually cause things to become brittle and break on their own. It also made the music very tense. Yeah. Like, actually, is there debris hanging out? Yeah, you. So I should be able to break those panels. I guess that's not heavy enough to do it. Oh no, it did break them. Nice. So this actually shattered the outer hull of the ship because it was cold when I hit it with that debris. It broke parts of it off. Look at that. Kind of neat. Hey, you were supposed to go in the process, sir.
Deposit accepted.
The thing doesn't want to go where I'm telling it to. Did it go in? Okay, there. See, all that was broken. Just because it was cold and I hit it with something. Just a neat little detail that I really enjoy. Could you, by default, you don't have the power to cut these outer panels, see? But if you need to break it for whatever reason, you can do it. Make it cold and brittle and then smack it with something. Go ahead and remove the rest of the front. We're almost done chucking the outer layers of the ship. Not quite. There's a lot to peeling these geckos apart.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Oh, hey, look. There's a utility key. So apparently The crew of this ship lost their utility key in the crawlway. Well, I can pick that up and I can use it on the next ship to shut down the reactor. Normally, if you don't have them, you can buy them. But, hey, I found one. Okay. Taking the whole thing, huh? That's fine. Don't go in the furnace. Not the furnace. Not the furnace. No. That's the furnace. That is the incorrect location, sir. Don't go there.
Valuable objects processed.
Well, I think it's going anyway. Oh well. It'll be processed as scrap. We'll get a little bit less money out of it. See? It happens. Especially when the heavy pieces are way back here against the back of the bay. I kind of wish they would swap the position of the processor and the furnace on one side. So you have a processor in the front and the back, and a furnace in the front and the back. I think that would be a little bit easier to deal with. Oh, wow, this part shattered too. Look at that. Amazing. Even the chunks that are broken, this is, you know, almost a ton of nanocarbon cladding. But they're not tiny. Alright, let's get the rest of these computers. We need 15 more. We'll get a few of them out of here. The rest will come out of the main passenger area.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
That's a computer terminal, okay. Looks like a wall terminal. Very subtle difference that no one understands. Between a wall terminal and a computer terminal, who knows?
1 minute left, Cutter. Time to start wrapping things up. Weaver out.
I didn't have to go back for oxygen this time because I grabbed the free oxygen in the ship. That was very useful.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
This thing arcing everywhere. See, some of them just have like an internal power supply or something. I don't understand how it works exactly. Oh, it looks like I broke that one too. Yeah, it's saying scrap now, see? Throw it in the furnace then.
Material deposited.
Now, if you get to a point where you cannot meet the work order, it will tell you so and you'll fail. That specific objective. You're still not fined or anything, so. Not too bad. Let's see if we can get the reactor out next time and finish this ship up. I want to get to a different style of ship next. Still need the thrusters as well. Let's go pull those out of the back. Because after that and the computers, we don't really care about the rest of this. Except for its monetary value, but I'm at a point in the campaign where I don't really care about that. If they do an update that makes money meaningful, then I might care about that at some point, but right now the mechanic is, I don't know, it's a bit silly. Like, there are things you buy with money, but they just add to your debt, and then the things that you actually buy are not very expensive. So they're mostly negligible anyway.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credit
We don't actually
submitted.
need the reactor, but I just wanted to show how that works. Let me pull the back of the ship off. And we'll go look at that real quick. Then I'll cut a hole in the bottom and get all the computer terminals. So first, I'm going to need access to the ECU, which is in this room right here. I'm going to cut a little access way. This will let me get in and out quickly. Because when I pull those bottles, the reactor is going to start going. Now, I thought these were going to get out of my way, but let's just furnace them. I don't really care about them.
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
Get out of here. I want to show off the reactor. So that is the Mark II reactor. See it here through this possibly shielded glass? Probably not, knowing Link. Very nice, very nice. I'm gonna take these walls off. Just cutting, well, I'm melting away some of these structural members because I want to remove the walls.
Valuable component incinerated.
This is not the fastest way to do this, not the only way to do this. It's a fun way though. That was weird. Sounded like something broke. There we go. Those are all removed. Let me do the top now. What I'm basically doing is burning away these structural attachment points so that these walls should come apart. Now, that is still not quite there. I need to take these tops off real quick. You can see the reactor's actually untethered now. It's moving around. So I've removed all of its structural support.
Deposit accepted.
The only place it's now attached is right over here into this wall, which is pumping into the ECU. Now I should be able to just pull away these walls. And that gives me free access about this. Yep. Because I want the reactor open before I start messing with it. So I can pull the shielding off, which is very, very safe. Don't worry about it. Not a problem. There is actually no radiation in the game yet. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they'll add it at some point. One would presume this would be very dangerous to do, but right now it doesn't matter. So once I get all the panels away, the reactor top plate can be moved. And now I just have the naked reactor here. It's very shiny. Now, you can see it has 15 little pips next to it, 10 of which are full. The way the reactor works, it starts with 5 pips. If you correctly shut down the power, that gives it another 5 pips. if you correctly shut down the coolant, that gives it the final 5 pips. When you pull the reactor or when the coolant stops, those pips start going away, and that is the meltdown counter. When it gets into the red pips, it starts arcing and destroying things nearby really vigorously. And normally it just arcs a couple times, and it's just mildly angry. Were I to cut the coolant line rather than shutting it down appropriately, it would not gain its final 5 pips. But I am instead going to go shut it down correctly. And to do that, all you have to do is remove these 3 canisters. Boop. Now, as you can see on the left, reactor meltdown is occurring, but it has all of its little health bars, so now I can take it off. I can bring it away from the ship so it doesn't arc and destroy things, and not close to me either. And then I'll just tether it down into the salvage area. And off it goes. And that was no problem. Come on, get into a salvage point. That was no problem. See?
Secured. Credits deposited.
Now, I don't really worry about these reactor plates. They're worth fuck all. This one is attached to a bunch of piping, which goes into the processor. I'm going to go ahead and cut that pipe, and I'm going to chuck this whole thing into the processing area. And then I'm probably just going to throw the rest of this into the furnace once I get the computer terminals, because that's all I need. I could try to salvage as much value out of one as I can, but I don't know. I've done that before. Right now, I just wanted loyalty points, and you get those by doing the work orders. Whatever. Alright, let's go get the computers that we need. Ow. Excuse you. I'm just gonna cut the belly open to get the computers out. Oops, didn't mean to do that again. Now I can just tug these computers right out the bottom. And toss them in there. And I only need 9 more.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
So next I'll see if I can grab a... Well, what do you want to see? Do you want to see a different class of ship, like a Stargazer or science ship, or do you want to see one of those glitchy ships? I can do either one, really.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
5 more of these.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Alright, Cutter, you got 5 minutes left of this shift before they turn the lights
I think we got time to finish up.
Either that or we're out.
The glitchy ships are ships that came back from the... Well, they came back from unknown space without any crew aboard. And no one really knows what happened to them. Well, that's the lore anyway. I know what happened to them because I've done them a couple times. Lynx absolutely knows what happened to them because it's on the work order. Basically, they were added in the Halloween update, and they're slightly spooky. That's all.
Salvage secured. Account
All right,
credit
let's get
applied.
some metal in the furnace so we can finish this work order. I don't think this is small enough to move at once. Yeah, kind of, Event Horizon. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this thing in 2 or something. Because it's a little too big for my, my tethers. I think I cut through a computer in there. It got really mad. This is the recommended way to bisect the ship, by the way. It's in the manual. I'm actually doing a terrible job. I'm leaving all kinds of little connection points. There we go.
Oxygen reserves are low. Reminder, asphyxiation due to mixed valve order.
I just want to get this done so I don't have to do another shift just to finish the metal. Alright, I only got 60 seconds of oxygen left, so let's go back. So yeah, we'll see one of the glitchy ships, I guess. If I could find a science ship that's also a glitchy ship, that'd be even better.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Get in there. It does this sometimes where the larger chunks of ship don't move correctly. Just another one of the physics issues that this game has. Like, I've got all these tethers pulling on it, and it's just slowly rotating. There we go. That should easily finish out our work order for metal.
Raw material processed.
Nice.
Credits deposited.
And the rest of the ship can just sit here. I don't care.
Complete.
They should probably add like a cleanup fee if you leave a whole bunch of crap lying around. All right. Yeah, we made a good amount. So the reactor is really the prize in most of these ships. It's worth 3 million on its own. Good stuff. All right, let's see what we got in the ship catalog after I check on my equipment. Yeah, my cutter was down to 0%. We're gonna repair everything up. We do have a heavy cargo ship, which we haven't seen yet, and it's a ghost ship. It's rated as hard as well on difficulty, so you can't see the last owner. There's no data. Total value is 14 million-ish. Hazard rating high. Let's see what we got. This is a class 5, so it fits with our progression. Last one was a class 4. Ah, game crashed. Yeah. The wonders of using early access games. Hold on. Rebooting. Oh, rerunning. Whatever. This is the game I was talking about yesterday, which has the saving issue where you can't save a ship while you're working on it between sessions, because when they initially tried it, the saves were 10 plus gigabytes in size and took 10 or 15 minutes to load. So they're trying to find a better solution for that. It's okay, we'll find another one. It's not a big deal. It also saves every time you go back to the hab, so it's no effort lost, really. We didn't lose any progress. All our money is still there. Well, all our debt is still there, don't worry. Yeah, this is the game. And you can kind of see it. Like, you can cut these ships up in all different ways, and saving the state of everything in that bay is very, very technically challenging. So, yeah. Alright, our class 5... Ooh, we got a class 5 Stargazer ghost ship. You want to see that instead? So the Stargazer is a different type of gecko that's made for scientific investigation. It's not just a workhorse. And it fits much better with the Event Horizon thing. Let's go for that. This is the spooky ship. Class 5 spooky. not actually that spooky. Just spoiler. Music's a little different. Scanner's a little bit more glitchy than usual. The voices will be a little odd. You can see this ship's a little different. It's much longer and narrower, and the internal layout is a lot different too. So let's check this out. I'm going to cut these side claddings off first. I'm going to take a couple of cuts. I haven't actually seen one like this before. It's kind of interesting. I think they changed some stuff in a recent update. Look at our work order. You can see the UI is a little glitchy around this ship too. Spooky, spooky. Yeah, there's something at the top there that I haven't seen before. Salvage AI node. Very strange. I've seen it before, I'm just saying. You haven't seen it before. We do need these because these each count as metal for our salvage metals. See, we're about a fifth of the way through it already. These are solar batteries. They make the power from the sun. I don't know why they don't call them solar panels, but they are called solar batteries. More spooky music. I like how the character gets all freaked out when something fast is going by. I mean, it's understandable. Alright, let's see. Do we need comms gear? We don't. We may as well grab it, though. I mean, we're right here. That I can't pull off yet. There's an antenna. That was interesting. I cut the top one and the bottom one, missed the middle two. Strange beam behavior. Skipped over 2 cut points and cut the other ones. Almost like it's a video game and not an actual laser beam. I gotta be careful with these because you can cut through the solar panels with this laser. And it does not generate power. It just ruins them. Then you don't get money. Which I keep saying I don't care about, and then I keep salvaging things. Money, damn it. Ooh. Yes, look, we get to see it. So that right there, in the distance, is... well, it's the big ship. It comes every once in a while to pick up all the things that you've salvaged. So, admire. You can tell when it goes by because it blocks out the sunlight for the entire bay. Now, look at this ship and tell me that this game doesn't have design similarities with Homeworld. That's a Homeworld ship right there. Gotta love it. Okay, back to work. Enough lollygagging. So nothing spooky's happened yet, but we're not inside. We're just cutting bits off the outside right now. Alright, now I think we're ready to go in. Let's find... Wait, first, is it even pressurized? So most of it appears to be unpressurized inside. The airlock is, but most of the air has been vented from the ship already. That's not promising.
Pressure levels dropping.
The caterpillar of space, it does look a bit like a cat, doesn't it? I can see it. Alright, we're gonna head on in to the spooky ship of spooktacularness. There is the power generator. Turn on the light. There's the ECU. There's some padding on the wall for some reason. And all this, the door is closed, even though the pressurization state is the same. Very strange. Usually the doors only close if the pressurization is different between the rooms. Okay, nothing up here. Just checking the ship out. Sometimes there's free oxygen hanging out. Sometimes there's items to be picked up. There's suit patch kits if you damage your suit. There's thruster fuel sometimes. Med kits if you hurt yourself. Oh, interesting. This is usually the crew quarters, but apparently these crew didn't get quarters. Oh, look, a helmet. So the helmet is how they distributed lore for the new update. I guess the crew in this ship didn't get to sleep anywhere. I think that might be a glitch, because that's usually the crew quarters. But, whatever. Alright, so this is a hard ship, and it's a class 5, so this is kind of dangerous. I'm going to activate the vent control, but then I'm just going to leave, because it could explode. I've had them just pop before. Alright, looks like we're alright. And that has nothing to do with the spookiness. It's just, hard ships sometimes have malfunction. Alright, so far so good. Yeah, we're doing okay. So nothing has happened yet, so it's kind of great. Ooh, what's that? On this fuel tank here. That is an AI node. Now I need to, now if I aim at it, normally if you aim at something, it tells you where to put it right there at the bottom. So that says the fuel tank goes to the barge. The thruster goes to the barge. This panel goes to the processor. When I aim at that, it says destroy. We need to burn off this AI node. Which is really delicate when it's on a fuel tank. There's 10 of these around the ship that we need to destroy. And they get progressively more pissed off as you do this. Alright, that's 2. And they could be clinging onto things that you don't see them. So if I accidentally, like, throw a panel into the processor that has a node clinging to it, well, I've just failed that salvage 10 nodes thing because I didn't destroy it. I instead sent it into the processor to attempt to infect the station. But it's like some kind of AI infection that the ship picked up while it was out in space. And as you find those helmets, you start finding these crazy machine god cult rantings and things like that. It's pretty interesting. So far, though, they're not doing anything spooky. In fact, they haven't done anything at all. Anyway, this is the sensor array. A little bit disappointed at the non-spookiness. They're making spooky sounds, but they don't seem terribly spooky.
Account credit applied.
Why is that red?
You've got about 5 minutes left in this shift, Cutter. Don't bite off more
Whatever.
than you can chew.
I think it's just like a piece of it can't be salvaged in the barge. I find this game very relaxing and kind of satisfying, putting everything away, cutting things up, putting them where they go. I don't know why. Just fun. Let's get these class 2 thrusters out. I think that was on our list. Yeah. Gotta salvage both thrusters. So as the work orders get harder, it gets more, well, there's less of a margin. So in this case, I have to salvage both thrusters. If I don't, I fail. In other ones, it's been like, well, salvage one of the 3 thrusters or whatever. Okay, so we got the thruster one done. Any more nodes? Yep, there's one. On these fuel tanks. It's always fun to get them off of here. Gotta be really careful. Because the laser has a little bit of blow through it right at the end. And if you blow through and hit the fuel tank, obviously a laser on a fuel tank is not ideal. Oop, I just cut through some of the decking there. Whoopie doodle. Alright, let's go get some oxygen. Apparently we need to breathe or whatever. Oh, there's stuff on the bottom. Whoops. I'll have to go get that in a minute. I don't know why they want us to breathe. Overrated if you ask me.
Welcome to Megatron 9000.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Alright, we'll use the last couple minutes to pull these bits off the bottom. So, first, use the scanner real quick, make sure there's no bits on them. No nodes on these. I can see some nodes inside though. The little red dots that you see that are like round little bits, like all over the reactor, those are the nodes. There's one on the generator. They're all over the place. Come on. Alright, well I only needed 2 of the sensor towers, but I'm gonna go ahead and get a 3rd one. And then should have undone that while I was inside, but I'll get it when I go back in. Yeah, ultimately the spooky ships are not actually that spooky. That's why I was kind of like, eh, we could look at them, but in my opinion, not actually that spooky. Go in the bottom over here, and I'll cut away that last. Oof. Cut away that last mount point. Nope, can't get in there yet. Let's just slice these out. The quarters in here are a little cramped.
Cutter, we're getting down to the wire. Let's put
Got
a
60
football
seconds left. I can still do some work. It's good that I flushed the fuel because I accidentally cut through that fuel pipe too. Look at that. Cut right through it. Get out of the way. You can and probably will accidentally make cuts that you didn't mean to. Especially when you're trying to hurry like this. Alright, I've got most of the bottom of the ship loose now. So next shift I'll be able to stuff all that into the processor. That one shift took 50% of my laser cutter's durability. If you're wondering how I get around fast like that, I'm actually grabbing things that are heavier than me and grappling them. So if the thing you're grappled to is heavier and you pull it, it pulls you. It's a really good way to get around fast. And then you feel like a science fiction Spider-Man. Votermon. So I guess Spider-Man could technically be counted as science fiction anyway. I mean, his big arch nemeses are always like scientists with 8 legs and things. So, well, 8 mechanical legs. So science fiction. Alright, I already cut that. That's good. Got a lot of parts moving in different directions I gotta keep track of. Cutting the keel apart. Oh, there's a cut guard. I need something to break that. I don't have a handy light either. There's gotta be something around. There's a light. Give me that. Right there. Alright, you are now an implement of blunt force trauma. You are no longer a light. You are a missile. Haha. Oh, it didn't work. Curses. I need another light. You will do. Fortunately, none of these work orders are ever like, we need 15 light. God, that would be awful. Alright. Try again. Go. There we go. That's not attached to this front. Most of these are now detached. Good. Get this bit heading that way. That's still attached up top. I didn't do the top points yet. Yeah, mostly the AI nodes do things like close the airlock when you're in it, or lock you in a room. But I haven't been inside, so they haven't been able to do that. I'm sure they'll try. They're probably very angry at me because I've already burned 3 of them. But I want to get the rest of the outer hull detached first. Just so I have room to move around, access everything. Really careful shooting a laser down the length of the ship. Oh look, these guys also lost their utility key in the crawl space. Free utility key for me. They cost like 50 grand to buy, so I usually get very excited when I find them. Even though I keep saying money is meaningless. Loot is loot, okay? Even if it's not very good loot. Off you go, children, into the processor. Not the furnace. Processing machine, not the furnace machine. There you go. Yes, go play. Frolic and be free. What's 50 grand when you're half a billion in debt? Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's fair. But also, 50 grand is 50 grand. So, I mean, you know, if I can not pay 50 grand, even though it's a trivial amount, in real life, you know, $1 is not especially onerous to me to pay to someone. But if I can not pay $1, then I'll choose not to pay the dollar.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
Because it's not a large amount of money to you doesn't mean you can just throw it away. Rich people don't get rich by being philanthropists.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Not that I'm rich. More likely ever will be. Rich people also don't twitch.
Object not accepted. Please revisit your training.
Oh, whoops. The keel's still attached. Sorry about that. Well, I guess you could just take that whole thing. Whatever. Hey, Berserk Jay, how's it going, man? We're cutting ships apart. Yeah, I'll just leave that entire keel together.
Valuable object processed.
We've completed the nanocarbon objective. That's good. I don't think we actually need coolant. Oh, we do. Excellent.
Salvage secured. Account credit
Go ahead and get this out of the way. I don't want to detach that coolant tank with that keel in the way.
salvage secured.
Oh yeah, I gotta catch up on Expanse. I think I stopped around season 3, but I've read the book, so I know what happens. It's not like it's a shock or a surprise to me. They've stayed close to the book, not exactly, but pretty close.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
They did really good with the series though. Ooh, let me cut this sensor array off before I throw that in the processor, because that needs to go in the barge. Get in there. There we go. Ah. Stop moving. Very difficult to aim my laser when both me and the target are moving. How am I gonna get to the last point? I get it from over here? There we go. Nice. Alright, you can get salvaged. You get processed. Yeah, oddly enough, the book that correspond to season 4 were also pretty slow.
Credits transferred.
So, you know, at least it came through in the film. Well, the series. Don't go in the furnace. I know you keels really love the furnace, but go over there. There we go. Alright, yep, there's the reactor. There she is. I can pull the shielding off and gaze directly into the fusion reaction. I'm sure this is really healthy. I have to say, with the Expanse series, I was really impressed at how well they nailed Miller. Like, the casting for him is spot on. The dialogue is really, really well done.
Turn the lights out on you.
I was pretty impressed.
We wrap.
Come on, let go. Let go. There we go. Get out of here. Alright, so the reactor is open and accessible. Now I can get these little bits off of it. This is an infested ship, Berserk J, so it's got these little AI nodules that have grown all over it, and I have to remove them very carefully. Otherwise, I might explodify the reactor. Any more? This is really delicate work. There's one right there. I think that's why this panel wouldn't move, because it was stuck to that. Yep. These can all go in the processor. Whoop, I just screwed up. So I just banged into the coolant line with a panel. And when that coolant line bleeds out, it's going to trigger an overload in the reactor. So I'm just going to go ahead and unplug it and see if I can get it into the salvage bay. I've got some time because I was doing the other bits correctly, so we're okay. Oh, everything's exploding. Nope. Okay, I think we're okay. What? No! Does it still have one on it? I think it's still got a note on it. It does. Crap. Alright. Let me, here. Calm down. Stop moving around. Don't zap me. Okay. Now can you salvage? This thing's like spitting electricity everywhere. Go, go, go. Yes. Success. Nothing happened. Nothing went wrong. We don't need to file an accident report. I'm not sure why you think we need an audit. Everything's going to plan. Come here. All right, right. Oxygen. Oxygen's very important for living. Everything's fine. Staying cool. See, everything's fine. What are you guys worried about? OSHA's watching? Yeah, I don't think OSHA exists anymore, based on the living conditions and working conditions. This ship didn't even have beds, for God's sake. Like, the people that lived on this ship had no bed. I don't think anyone cares about worker conditions anymore. Alright, well, I've already ripped out the reactor, so I don't even need to worry about the stupid fuses and everything. We'll just salvage that bitch. Get in there. Get in there. Oh, right. I need to get the node off of it.
Winding down, Cutter.
Come here.
Deep and let's finish strong.
Come back. Come back. You can't leave. Going off to go into orbit. You're worth money. Oh, it's got 2 nodes. 3 nodes on it. Jeez. Alright. Stop going. No going for you. Get these nodes off. that it? Yeah. Alright. Shift is ending. Yeah, I gotta catch up on the Expanse. They've done a great job so far. I'm really glad Amazon stepped in and just saved it. Excuse me. Alright, let's go back and finish up. Sorry. I drank some water and it went the wrong way. This detach? No, I think it is. Nope, not. What is it attached? Let's just make it detached. Now it's not attached. And it's still attached up here to something. Well, let's just cut this part. We can get that out of the way. Whole pipe is going in the processor. Whee! That's dangerous. Oh, there's a little chunk. This keel can go in there. Now I think we have the same issue here as we did in the other ship, where the front bit is stuck on by like one of the structural attachments to an object. So I'm gonna go up there and detach all the computers in the cockpit. Oh look, the AI closed the door and pressurized the room beyond. Look at that, cockpit's pressurized again. Alright, I'm gonna hold on to the wall and we'll open it back up. Oh, we can't open it because we don't have power anymore. Alright. Right. Can't operate doors with no power. So, we do it the fun way. Something exploded. Oh my god. What in the S happened? This shit's on fire. There's electricity everywhere. I don't know. I'm gonna go in here now. We'll just leave the back of the ship to handle itself. We don't need to go back there for a while. There we go. It was the left computer this time that was attached. Do we need computers? Yeah, we don't care about computers. Good. Squeeze out. Nope. Move. Chair. Squeeze out through here. Come on. There we go. This thing can just go into the processor as is. Not worried about computers. I mean, it's moving. Slow. Do I need coolant? I do need coolant. I feel like that didn't actually detach. Hold on. The front bit, not the coolant. Coolant obviously did. Let me pull it forward first. I think it's just like friction stuck. Yeah, there we go. We'll go off to the right side one instead. A little easier. Does that finish the coolant? It does. I don't know why there's a hole in the top of the cockpit here. Did that happen when I opened the door in a violent manner? It might have. I don't know. It may have. Anyway, we don't care about any of that stuff. All we need is storage bit AI nodes, metal, and fuel. And 2 atmosphere regulators. So let's get rid of this thing. Don't care about it. Atmosphere regulator right there. One down. I'll just eat this computer into orbit. Don't give a shit. These will satisfy the storage requirement. We need 17 though. Sticker unlocked, frozen in carbonite. Okay. I guess I salvaged enough nanocarbon or something for a sticker. You can put the stickers all over your tools. You can see I have a couple on the beam emitter thing in my hand. I'm just staying far away from the back of the ship until whatever happened back there is done. When it's no longer happening, I'll go back there. Whoa. Alright. Piece of debris came shooting out of the ship. That's fine. Yeah, if Lynx Corporation has a version of OSHA, I'm sure it's just there to manage corporate liability and not actually worried about safety. So instead of saying, you know, lift with your legs, not your back, they would just say, sign this waiver so that if you get wounded lifting, we're not responsible. That's their version of OSHA. They just watch, and anything you do that's liable to cause injury or any kind of liability, they just let you know that it's not their fault. There's still electricity happening back there, and I don't like it. I also keep bonking myself in the head with these storage things. I've pulled a lot of stuff out of this ship so far. That's the storage bin. We're at 12. Not many more. It'll be 14. There's a door. Not sure where that door came from. But it's pissed off some other stuff up here, and now things are exploding. Oh, it's a panel. It's an aluminum panel. Get out of there. We'll get rid of these computers. They are now hazardous. Yeet! They're not worth anything broken anyway, so. Come on. Come on, storage panel. Storage bin. Alright, I need one more. You are the last storage bin. At least the storage bins don't explode. Because it would depend on what's in them, though. Alright, I need one more atmosphere generator. Regulator, rather. That would be it right there. This venti looking thing. Did that just bounce off? What happened? There we go. Alright, I still need fuel, I need metal, and I need to find the rest of the AI nodes. Honestly, the rest of the AI nodes will be taken care of if I just feed the rest of the ship into the furnace. So all I really need to do is navigate this hellish landscape and get some fuel out and salvage it.
Cody, you got 5 minutes left in this shift.
Yeah.
Lights out on you.
Alright, that fuel tank was a little bit fragile. See if we can just gently push this tank out and get it into the bin. Alright. Looks like we'll probably need like 3 of these. Gently now. Don't want explosions. I mean, you probably do, but I don't. Come on. Oh, careful. A little too fast there. Alright, where's the spot I can throw it? Right there. Okay. Fuel is done. I think this is just going in the furnace. Ship's kind of messed up anyway. Is it small enough to move, or do I need to continue cutting? Nope, it can move. Alright, we're gonna throw this whole thing into the furnace. That'll take care of those AI buggers. Of course, they're probably really upset about this, but I don't care. Oh, that's just the back of the ship. Well, that can go in. That's fine.
Oxygen reserves are low.
We may just have to do one more shift where we clean up.
Salvage quotas.
Look, things are still sparking in there. Incredible. Alright, let's go get some breathy gas.
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
Game's very upset about furnacing so many things at once.
Oxygen reserves are critical. Affordable oxygen supplies are available for purchase at the master jet.
Breathy gas acquired. Now let's burn the rest of the ship. Can it move? It's not moving. So above a certain size, the ship doesn't move. I think that's like a helpful feature to keep it still for you when you're first starting. It's also obnoxious when you just want to chuck the entire thing into the furnace. So we're gonna section it. Oh yeah, that pissed it off. There we go. The back half now is small enough? Yep. Got a couple pieces that we can throw in there one by one.
All right, Cutter. Wrap it up. You got about a minute left.
Definitely gonna need one more shift just to clean up. Well, maybe. We'll see. But I don't think I got all the AI nodes. No, I didn't. Unless they're all in the back of the ship. Then they're going in. But even then, I don't think it's going to get in there sometimes, so. They're sometimes just floating around, too. Oh, there's one. Death to the AI node. See, there are two, I think, in here. See one over there. One, that might be one right there. They're kind of hard to spot sometimes. Well, yep, one more shift. We only made $1 million that time off our debt. It's okay. We only need to do that 555 more times. Actually, more than that, because we also get we get hit with interest every day. Well, that shift, all we really did was throw things in the furnace and some computers. The computers aren't worth that much, but they were required for the work order.
Salvage is destroyed. Don't do that.
Wait, nope, go, nope, into furnace. Processing things as scrap does not actually yield much money, so yeah, I'm not too surprised at the low yield for that shift. This shift's not going to be that high either. So we got to get all the nodes. There's a couple over there. I could just find them and zap them. That's one way to open the wall.
Node terminated.
There we go.
Ready for salvaging.
We're done.
Order is complete.
And we got some music. I'm not sure why. Well, that's been about 2 hours of this. I enjoyed it, but I do need to go take care of a couple of things around the house. So I'm probably going to wrap it up there. But that's been Hardspace Shipbreaker. That's pretty much the way it goes right now. See, there's a couple of other types of ships, like there's the salvage runner. It's just a variation on the heavy cargo ship, which we already saw. And then any of these can be a spooky ghost ship. You can see. I could do another macro real quick if you wanted to see one. Don't have a lot of time tonight. I'm definitely going to be doing more of this at some point, and I'm going to be doing more SnowRunner over the weekend. So that should be fun. But for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for coming out. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.